Hey there, YouTube. This is the Lon Chaney Reviewer, and today I'm going to finally talk about the Oscars. I apologize, haven't made a video in a couple days, but I'm going to get on that. Going to do my City Lights review this week, probably tonight or tomorrow, and keep those requests coming because I'm going to do them. I'm going to bump them out probably this weekend. The next couple request reviews are going to be Silver Linings Playbook, Blazing Saddles, and Mockery from 1927, because I haven't done a Lon Chaney review in a while. One of my people like me on Facebook, shout out to them. He's just like, when are you going to do another Lon Chaney review? And I'm like, I'll do Mockery. So I'm going to do that soon, hopefully. So today I'm going to talk about the Oscars. Now, let me give you my opinion of 2012 as a whole. Never have I had a year where I've enjoyed so many of the movies. Like, as much as I enjoyed The Artist and Hugo and Midnight in Paris last year, I didn't really think the Best Picture nominees last year were all that. I felt they were kind of mediocre. I didn't like Descendants. I'm sorry if I'm offending George Clooney fans, but I just didn't. Tree of Life. No, just no. If you like it, good for you, and I'm glad somebody was able to enjoy this thing. But I don't want to talk about it ever again. Yeah, I just didn't like a majority of the Best Picture nominees last year. It's not that I didn't like them. It's just I felt they were like, it's kind of like, oh, okay. This year, like last year, I saw all 9 of the nominees. Now I'm going to give you a brief opinion on each of them. Lincoln, I enjoyed Lincoln. I'm a Spielberg fan anyway. You know, Daniel Day-Lewis is... I didn't realize how incredible he was till the second time I saw him. I knew he was great the first time I saw him as Lincoln, but the second time, I was really taken aback, and I'm just like, wow, he really pulls it off. Django Unchained. I've only seen 3 Tarantino films. I've seen Pulp Fiction, Inglourious Basterds, and Django, and Django's my favorite out of the 3. I have no shame in saying that. The only problem I have with it felt like it had 2 endings towards the end. Other than that, I love the film. Personally, I'm not a big DiCaprio fan, and I felt this was his best performance I've ever seen him in. And he was genuinely, in my opinion, he should have been nominated for an Oscar for that. But that's just my opinion. Silver Linings Playbook, that's going to be my next request review. I really enjoyed that film, so I'll talk more about that in my review. Beast of the Southern Wild, that was a very interesting one. If that movie had won, it would have became the lowest grossing Best Picture winner with about $12 million, if I'm not mistaken. I think the lowest grossing Best Picture winner currently is The Hurt Locker. So, but Beast of the Southern Wild, Quvenzhané Wallis, I think she was quite good. Life of Pi. Life of Pi I thoroughly enjoyed. I'll talk more about that later too, but I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the 3D, actually. It's one of those films where I strangely enjoyed the 3D. But yeah, Zero Dark 30. First time I saw the trailer, I loved it, but after so many trailers, I just hated it. But then when I saw it, I'm like, this is a good movie. And I love the ending. It kind of shatters all your expectations for what the movie is, in a sense. I might talk about that in a spoiler review of Zero Dark 30 in the future, but for now, I enjoyed it. Great movie that I'm never going to watch again, because it's so depressing. The 2 older actors, Emmanuel Riva, and I forgot Jean something. He was in the 3 Colors Red, I remember that. He was good in that. He should have been nominated for an Oscar too, because he has to react to her, and you know he is a driving force of the film as much as she is. Argo. I don't care what anybody says. It's overrated to say you hate Argo officially. I don't care, because I look on the IMDb message boards. It's like, worst Best Picture winner ever. Oh my god, this is a travesty. Canadians must be pissed. And I'm like, there are worse things than Argo. Like, at least with Argo. It's intended for an adult audience, and that adult audience should be intelligent enough to look that information up on their own. I only have a problem with historically inaccurate things when it's hugely insulting. Like making suicidal maniacs out of people who are truly heroes. Cough, cough, Titanic. I mean, if this was a movie for kids, I would be like, wow, this is offensive. But no, it's not a movie for kids. So screw that. It was my favorite movie of 2012, and I have no shame in saying that. I've seen the film 4 times so far, and I have not gotten tired of it. It's just really a well-made, entertaining movie, and I'm happy for Ben Affleck that he won Best Picture. And I'm so glad that he proved that he just won all of those awards, before the Oscars. But if you didn't like Argo, that's fine with me because I'm able to enjoy it so much. Les Mis, my least favorite out of the nominees. While not terrible, my main problem with the film is Russell Crowe. Now, do I have anything against him as a human being? No. It's just he's incredibly stiff in the film, and I take problem with that because he's playing my favorite character in Les Mis. Also, Anne Hathaway's the best. So good in the movie that she takes away from the movie because once she exits the film, it felt like the filmmakers were like, shit, we still have another hour and a half to go. That sucks. But Les Mis could have been better. And it was really funny because my mom's a Hugh Jackman fan, and it was really funny because it's a movie with Hugh Jackman that's nominated for Best Picture, but it wasn't her favorite among the Best Picture nominees. I'm like, wow, that's kind of ironic. So, what did I think of the winners and all that sort of stuff? Well, I'm glad Argo won Best Picture. If it didn't win Best Picture, I think I'd live because all the other nominees, with the exception of possibly Les Mis, would have been fine. I mean, if Zero Dark 30 or Pi, Silver Linings, Lincoln, Django, I wouldn't have been disappointed. If Les Mis won, I'd be like, that's kind of, no. I could easily see Les Mis exploding, like, the forums and people saying that's the worst Best Picture winner ever. And, yeah. Life of Pi winning Best Director, I'm happy for Ang Lee because, Life of Pi did get a director nominee, but it almost seemed like, that was going to be it. That's all it was going to get. It was just going to pick up technical awards and be this year's Hugo, but it won Best Director, and I'm very happy for Ang Lee. And I'm glad somebody different from the Best Picture winner was Best Director, because it pisses me off when it's just last couple of years, like, The Artist. I love The Artist, but, both picture and director won. Before then, King's Speech, Tom Hooper and Best Picture won. Before then, Hurt Locker and Catherine Bigelow won. Slumdog Millionaire, Danny Boyle, if I'm not mistaken, won. The Coen brothers won for No Country for Old Men and Best Picture, which I felt No Country for Old Men is one of the most overrated films I've ever seen in my life. It was really boring. I've seen other people's analysis of it, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't intrigue me. The only good thing about it was probably like the cinematography and Javier Bardem. Like, Javier Bardem can make a Care Bears movie look epic. That's how good he is. And he was also my favorite part of Skyfall, which, by the way, Skyfall should have been nominated for Best Picture. What do I think about the actual ceremony? Now, Seth MacFarlane, I was kind of worried about him because it's Seth MacFarlane, I knew what he was going to do, and I knew that what the producers were getting themselves into. I hope those producers never work in Hollywood again, because that Oscar show was so unworthy of the films nominated this year that it's kind of tragic, in a way, because I felt, there were some exceptional films released this year, and it's like, you just dropped the ball on that. And it just seemed unextraordinary this year. And then with Michelle Obama giving the Best Picture winner, I mean, some people like to think that's classy, but I don't know, it just didn't work for me. Come on, just let Jack Nicholson get it. I mean, he's Jack Nicholson. Yeah, like, what is it? We saw your boobs. It's I don't blame Seth MacFarlane though, because the producer should have known what they're getting themselves into. They approved his material, at least as far as I know. I would hope that producers would at least approve a host's material before letting him, you know, out there. You know, for some of you, you're probably like, oh, I love Seth MacFarlane, I don't care. But there are other people out there who don't appreciate that kind of thing. Like, I've heard some people are just saying, oh, yeah, Tarantino saying peace out, that's really classy. I'm like, was the rest of the ceremony really classy? I don't think so. And plus, I liked Tarantino's speech because I never thought in a million years I would see that man win another Oscar in his life. I'm so happy that Django did take home 2 Oscars. I apologize, it's a very dry video. It's just me talking about my opinions on this. But the actors, Daniel Day-Lewis winning for Lincoln, that was great. Anne Hathaway for Les Mis, it's great. Jennifer Lawrence, I love Jennifer Lawrence. I'm so glad she won. The other Best Actress nominees I felt were great. I didn't see Naomi Watts in The Impossible, but she looked good in that. Quvenzhané Wallis has a career ahead of her. She's going to be in the remake of Annie, which, good for her. Good for her. You know, she was exceptional. Emmanuelle Riva, I thought almost for certain she was going to win. And then Jessica Chastain, a lot of people thought she was a neck and neck with Jennifer Lawrence because, you know, she was a previous Oscar nominee. But I'm like, yeah, but I really enjoyed that film mainly because of the ending sequence and the fact at the tone of the film that it wasn't like America the movie. It was more like, oh, we killed Bin Laden. That's it. And it proves you should never celebrate the death of an enemy. At the end. I'm sorry if I'm kind of spoiling it, but I just did. And it's kind of hard because that's my favorite part about the movie was the ending. And not because I hated the movie, but because it was like, wow, it really confirms to me that, you know, it was kind of intelligent way to end the movie, you know, leaving the character like that. Any other opinions I really have? No, I mean, I'm happy Argo won. Some people are complaining about, like, the inaccuracy or taking thriller elements, or they thought Ben Affleck did a better job in his other films. I've never seen Gone Baby Gone, so I can't comment on that, but I felt Argo was an improvement over The Town. I mean, I enjoyed The Town a lot. I have it on Blu-ray and everything. It's a great movie, but I felt some of the other characters were kind of sidestepped. Now, I'm not going to talk about which ones, because like the other robbers that Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner were with, I really wanted to see some more development. And I felt the third act was kind of clunky or a little slow. But you know what? It was a good movie, but personally I felt Argo was a step better. It was a well-paced thriller, and I was on the edge of my seat each one of those 4 times that I saw Argo. I felt it was well-acted, well-written, well-made product. And that's what I appreciate about Argo. It's not just like, oh, it's a vast epic, or, oh, it's a small, intimate movie. No, it's a good movie. It's a solid film. So, that's really my Oscar opinions. I'm going to probably post my City Lights review maybe tomorrow. And I'm going to try to do more of my request reviews. If you have any request reviews, please put them in the comments below. Personal message me or post it on Facebook. I have a Facebook page. I'll have a link for that on my description. And thank you guys for watching.